This is the Livingston Parish Ordinance Committee. We are going to start off with the invocation, and then we will get into business.
All right, bow your heads. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Dear Lord, thank you for getting us here safely this evening. Please protect us through weather that we're going to have tonight and the rest of the week. Let us get home safely. Please give us ears to listen and eyes to see the problems, issues that our residents that were elected to represent have. In Jesus' name we pray.
Here we do some pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody to please silence your cell phones. And each individual person that speaks is going to have 2 minutes to speak. If the person prior to you spoke, if you would please, if they said the same thing, please don't repeat what they said. We want to try to keep the meeting as quickly as possible, but give everybody a chance to speak and let them be heard. Wait. Yes. Will you please do roll call? Here.
Mr. Shaver, sorry about that. Mr. Taylor's absent. Mr. Mangus.
Present.
Okay, thank you.
Quorum.
Alrighty, so agenda item number 5 is a new business, which is a discussion of ordinance to amend and reenact LP ordinance number 18-17, chapter 125, planning and development, section 125-137, prohibitions and restrictions of use, removing Live Oak Acres subdivision from the list of named subdivisions that can allow mobile homes. Aaron Sandifer. Councilwoman, would you like to go first? I can, or you want me to read it?
Am I reading by title and what the amendment's going to be? Okay. Okay. This will be proposed ordinance. We don't know yet until it's introduced at the council meeting. An ordinance to amend and reenact LP ordinance 18-17, chapter 125, planning and development, section 125-137, prohibitions and restrictions of use of the Code of Ordinances in and for the parish of Livingston. The part that will be amended and added is the sentence stating, notwithstanding prior waivers or actions of the Livingston Parish Council, Live Oak Acres subdivision is hereby removed from the list of named subdivisions that can allow mobile homes.
Thank you.
So that's basically it in a nutshell. In 2018 and 2019, there was a list created. I have a list in its entirety here. And because mobile homes were allowed in the past, that they were automatically put on this waiver list. That's my understanding of this. And the subdivision wishes to be removed. The people of the subdivision wish to be removed from this waiver list. It's causing some issues in their subdivision, and they want the mobile homes to not be allowed in there and to be removed from the list because it was an ordinance putting them on the list. I had our ADA, Mr. Chris Moody, write an ordinance to remove them from the waiver list. There's a little bit of a history here. I don't know if you want to expand on that or to just keep it lickety-split. That's basically what it is, just to remove them from the waiver list. I've had opinions from Mr. Moody, Mr. Irving, and Mr. Maley. So to get three attorneys to agree on something,
Yeah.
you're cooking with grease.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, yeah, I think if you've got 3 attorneys' opinions saying that all is good, then, I mean, if anybody else wants to speak on it, I'm good with sending it to the council. If anybody else has got anything they want to add to it, to what Councilwoman Sandifer said, then we'd be more than willing to hear them out. But I think you've done the legwork on this, and I think you've had an attorney write the ordinance. You've gotten legal opinions on it. I think you've done your homework. But, you know, maybe the audience may have some additional
Okay.
information to add.
If I could just read into record, just so you know, I have 2 Mr. Moody wrote it for me. Mr. Irving sent me emails. You might have a packet up there, but I would like to read into public record what was said in the email. I think that that's permissible. Is that permissible?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's the last paragraph of the letter, and it answers the question. I do not see a requirement for that item, my item that I'm proposing, to go to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So if you pass, the next step is an introduction to the parish council, and then thereafter to be adopted in with a public hearing. I just wanted to read that into the record. And I also want to say that I think that these residents would like to be heard.
Absolutely.
I'm curious to see who. I do know that they have some stories to tell. Maybe they want to share them tonight. Maybe they want to share them at the council level. But yeah.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ms. Sandifer, I have a quick question. This in no way, shape, or form would affect any existing mobile homes in there, right?
No.
Okay, good. So it's not going to make anybody have to, okay. Yeah, then that was my question.
This subdivision was established in 1962. That's my 1953. So, sorry, thank you for that correction.
It's all in your packet.
Okay, 1953. And it is the heart of my district. And the houses have maintained their integrity. It's a really nice place. And so the residents are here to talk about it, and the purpose in the waiver is to, they changed their subdivision restrictions, and there's things to be said about that as well, but that's all we're trying to do. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Would anybody like to come up and add to it? Sure.
So, 2 minutes, bubble. He's the only one speaking. We're just supporting.
Okay.
So she gets our 2 minutes.
Can you give us your name and address, please?
My name is Lynn Ray. My address is 25031 Live Oak,
Thank you.
and I'm in Live Oak Acres. So we were, again, established in 1953. My parents bought in 1960. So I bought the house I grew up in, and it's same. So we're just kind of like generation after generation. We all know each other. We have a strong sense of community. I wonder if those glasses are on my head. I hope so. So looking through things, in 2003, our covenants were changed without most people's knowledge. When I go back through there, and again, it's detailed in your packets, there were 60 lots at that time. You would need 31 for a majority. Our original covenant state trailers were not allowed, and it also says in our original covenants, which are in tab 1, that a majority of the lot holders would be required to update those. So with the change in 2003, if you go through and look, I did the title work and abstract and went back. Out of 32 signatures, only 20 were valid. The other ones were not even property owners. It appears to be guests at people's homes at the time. So that's also documented in the packet, along with the original filing that shows where those were updated and they shouldn't have been. But again, that's water under the bridge. That's 2003. No one found out about anything until it was too late to mitigate that process. So, as well as the waiver situation. We were told that we were R1, that mobile homes were not allowed in R1. And I'm saying multiple residents. The reality of it is, after speaking with Ms. Delat, she's very knowledgeable, a wealth of information. We were told mobile homes are absolutely allowed in R1. If the lot was split before the 2/27/2025 date we were put into the R1 status, that they could be put on a lot that were less than 1 acre as well. So we went to change our covenant. Ms. Holloman, kind of went and shared, in addition to this, that the covenants were updated, a permit was issued, and we were not aware of the waiver. We were not. Ignorance is not an excuse, but we did reach out for this information, and finally Ms. Delat was very, hey, you guys, there's a waiver, and it's a lot. and it trumps your covenants, it trumps your update. So we went through, we handed out a packet to our residents. We wanted to be very transparent. This is what we're trying to do. Existing mobile homes will not be affected. We do not want to displace our friends. We do not want to displace our families. The existing one that just came in, it was done validly. I mean, the waiver was there. There's nothing we can, our covenants were updated, but we weren't aware that our waiver would trump.
Are these 1 acre lots?
No, they've been divided down. These are half acre. These
So,
were originally 2 acre lots, but this particular lot that's the issue was the developer, and it's a developer. It's not, we're residential. The developer bought 2 acre tract, cut the back acre off, making 2 half acre lots, and then sold for quite a hefty profit. And so his money was turned and burned. So then he listed the 2 half acre lots for $60,000 an acre. Which one of y'all are going to bid on that?
A half acre.
yeah.
A half acre, $60,000. Stayed on the market for 376 days. Well, then that was sold to a developer, which is his son, and that's all in your packet as well, those developers. And basically, the day that this mobile home was brought in, it was literally in one of our residents' driveway, and you have a picture of that too to show the dirt pad to show how close it was. He basically went to him and offered him a deal. It did go for $60,000, plus there were some other stipulations monetarily to compensation, but paid him $60,000 for a half acre basically to move it out of his driveway, because that's how close it was. So then he put it on the other lot, which is 35B, and that's where it sits now. And I took some quality pictures for you.
Just tell him. One thing about it is he's not living there. All our other residents.
Yeah, it's
that
rental.
He's
It's a rental.
opening a trailer park in the middle of our subdivision. We wanted to rent trailer. The other people that do have trailers is hardship. Bubba Harris and all them, they let it come in. But it's not, this is not a hardship.
It's a
After
rental
the flood.
property.
He's renting it. He doesn't live here.
And that's why we're saying
So
we're
it's-
residential.
So we
It's-
just don't want our subdivision to turn into a trailer park.
Sure.
Since 1953, we've been rocking on until then, and just, yeah.
So those are pictures for you to take a look at those, as well as the permits, which it was issued, I'm sure you know what that is. So there's that. And then there's just some talking points in number 7 that kind of gives you, we were told that we were going to be pulled off the waiver list. It went to Parish Council on 3/13/2025. It didn't even go to vote. It was tabled indefinitely. We were never told that. We were never told that we could show up to represent our community with that.
Wait, when did that happen?
Explain
That
that.
happened on March 13th, 2025. If you look under tab number 6 and go to page number 5, I believe it's marked with the little neon colored transparent tag, you'll see where it went and was brought up for vote, and then instead of it being voted on, it was tabled indefinitely. And those are the copies of the minutes from that meeting. So we thought that would remove it off the waiver list, but we weren't told that it wasn't even voted on.
We didn't know it was under a blanket waiver. We thought each council member would have to, if the hardship, you come up here and got the council to vote on it.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
According to this, Ms. Sandiford, you made a motion to table on that. Okay. Why was that?
She's going to come up to the
I
mic.
asked, were you tabling it indefinitely or for a certain amount of time?
So in talking with our legal counsel about it, I was informed that I could be sued or we could be sued for taking it up. And that is why I pulled it off the agenda.
Our attorney said that? And
Mr.
then,
Al Gerard said that, yes.
and then
and
the
it's
same
in an
law
email.
firm is now telling you that it's fine.
Different attorney,
But same law firm, right? Moody Law Firm?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And it says there was no public input, so what?
We were not told. Down, we had no need, or else obviously we would have been there.
Well, and in her defense, a lot of times with these council meetings, we get last minute information. It could be a day prior, it could be 2 days prior, that we already know ahead of time what we're going to do, because again, things change. That attorney could have called Councilwoman Sandifer and said, you know, hey, you don't need to do this, and there was probably no need to call you guys because she probably already knew ahead of time that she was going to pull it. That happens a lot. So, I mean, in her defense, I've done it. Scooter was a councilman. I'm sure he gets last minute information, and changes have to be made to the agenda where we have to pull something. Thankfully so, y'all didn't come to the council meeting and not even get a chance to speak on it because it was pulled. So I hate that the miscommunication with our attorney, with the district attorney, our attorneys are not communicating, because now we're being told that it's fine to do when before we were told we were getting sued, which was quite of a trend with some of our attorneys, you know, telling us that, you know, if we do XYZ, we could get sued. So we have to tread lightly with what we do. So anyways, I feel like I needed to explain that because it does happen a lot. Okay, does anybody else have anything to add to that? From what they said, if you want to give your 2 minutes, someone in the audience, to them to go a little further into detail about something else, I'll allow that. But other than that, I think it's okay for us to, well, what does the attorney say about the planning commission?
I read that in the record.
That's right, you
Yeah,
did. I'm so sorry.
Both of them, see, no,
Yeah.
it's not amending the zoning, it's not amending any development, it's just because an ordinance was used to create a waiver list,
Right.
to put properties on a waiver list, so I'm using the same ordinance to take it off.
So
And that's what we have, that's what I was told we have to do.
Yeah, he had that kind of information going.
when we send this to the council, it will be this Thursday. This Thursday is just going to be an introduction. It's not going to be a public hearing. You guys are more than welcome to come, but 9 times out of 10 with an introduction, you're not really supposed to allow for public comment. You're supposed to just vote really, you're not even supposed to vote. You're just supposed to acknowledge it, and it's going to go for a public hearing. But the public hearing will be, Sandy, correct me if I'm wrong, June 26th.
If it passes the council.
If it passes with the introduction, but essentially the public hearing will be on June 26th. And if you guys would like to come to that, that's a really good opportunity to speak to the council as a whole, because that's where that's the final vote at that point. So the 26th will be your final vote. But I do welcome y'all to come, and it sounds like y'all are very passionate. You've done a lot of homework on this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got one subdivision in mind that's got mobile homes in it. Thankfully, they don't have a waiver list, but I can only imagine what you guys are going through. So I'm going to give it a favorable recommendation to go to the council, and then
I move that we accept this as written and send it to the full council.
yeah, I'm good with that. You have anything to add?
No,
Good?
thank you so much.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that, in my mind, so it will go an initial step to the council, and if it passes the council, then the public.
Can you come to the mic a little bit? Sorry.
Sorry. So I want to reiterate what you said to make sure that we're all on the same page. So if it would go to the parish council for the initial, for a second step, y'all are the first. Second step will be parish council, which will be this Thursday.
Correct.
From there, it will be a public hearing, and at that point, the public hearing will be the final step.
So the 12th is going to be the introduction, which we will vote to approve to send it to a public hearing, which will be the next step. So the 12th, this Thursday,
Okay.
will be the introduction at 6 o'clock at these council chambers, and you will have a full council. And then after the introduction and we vote, it goes to a public hearing on the 26th, which will be the final vote. And again, you will have a full council here. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to state for the record, normally ordinances, it cut off and it didn't put on here. Normally ordinances, it takes 15 days for it to become effective, but this one, it says it will be effective immediately. So I don't know if y'all need to know that. It just cut off.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Jennifer Levitt, and I live at 8804 Wesley Street. I'm in the subdivision as well. Explain to me how on the Thursday meeting, y'all decide whether it goes forward or not for public hearing if we cannot speak out about it.
So introductions, typically you're not supposed to speak at introductions because it's just introducing the ordinance and allowing the council time to review it, and then we send it to the public hearing. So at that point, again, we kind of go against our rules here, but we do allow for public hearing on, public comment at introduction. So you can, excuse me, come this Thursday and speak, to it if you wish.
My concern is because, for whatever reason, we were not told in March about this coming forward or it being tabled. My concern is that will happen again.
I think Councilwoman Sandifer, again, to go back to the March situation, I think some last minute information may have came forward.
But it wasn't communicated to us.
Right. And she probably didn't because of the fact of there was not going to be any action taken because there was things happening behind the scenes with the attorneys telling her that if she did it, we as a council could get sued. And so I do apologize that happened. But I mean, I even do it in my own district where last minute information, I'm not going to call everybody to come to the council meeting if I know that there's no action going to be taken and it's not even going to be allowed to be discussed. I know, I see that.
If I would, I would say, yeah, definitely show up. When I did the kratom for the introduction, and it didn't make it through the kratom ban, it didn't make it through the, we got sent back to the ordinance committee. Billy Taylor, the chairman, he allowed people to speak. So you fill out a card, you come Thursday if you want.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, and maybe there's some people that are opposed to it, I mean, if it obviously matters to you
It does.
as just a recently retired teacher, that this is fantastic.
And just so you guys know,
Right here.
Just show up. It's another evening.
I'm gonna take this Thursday, and I will also have it for the 26th. Okay, because I was gonna say we could pass it around, and if do you have this in an email copy? No, don't I just said don't worry about that.
I have 5 more because I knew.
Okay.
asked Karen, and she said there were 3 of y'all and then 5 for the council.
Right.
Yeah, no 9, but 5 is 5 is perfect. We can pass it around to each other.
And
Yep.
one little caveat, how you talked about in your particular subdivision, the mobile homes for rent. I've been looking at the Municode, that's the program for other parishes across the state. For St. Charles Parish, for example, they have, it's a part of zoning and part of their ordinances where there's mobile homes that are residential for people that own, and then there's mobile homes that are considered commercial. That's for rent, and that wouldn't affect you because if it passes, your ban's done. But I think that's something that
Mobile homes across the board.
we need to look at
Actually-
because I don't want a stigma against mobile homes, but there's a difference between somebody who goes out and buys a half-acre lot and buys a mobile home and eventually plans to, build a home, and that's not your deal. But I just
Actually, in West Baton Rouge, earlier this week, they revoked the permit for a rental trailer to come in.
They already had the trailer set and
They revoked
They
it.
were issued a cease and
Because it's
desist by
rentals,
council.
So you talk about the Municode or whatever it
Yeah.
is. But I can tell you, this trailer is 2 lots over from mine, and I can see
see
through
it
the
out my
back
front window.
door. And if I can see through the back door, they can see into my young daughter's bedroom. That is my biggest concern.
We just don't want renters. We didn't buy and all of our money into a trailer. I bought residential when I moved in there in 1964. And now both of my sons, I bought 4 lots in there, and both my sons built houses next to me, nice houses. And there are some houses that need work, but we are, we all grew up there. Her husband grew, her grandparents. It's just generations and generations. We all used to have horses. Dr. Jimmy Smith would bring his truck down there. We'd all do our horses down there, carry them down there, and he'd vaccinate them every year. Dr. Scott Smith lives next door to me, so we just, he can see the trailer in front of his, house too, so, and they can be renters.
I mean, it just,
And that's all.
it is. It's a sense of community
Okay.
and it's safety.
Thank you.
So I want to just really quick, I want to, and I know Councilwoman Sandifer has got you guys taken care of. My phone number is on our website. John Mangus's phone number is on the website. Not saying that Aaron is not taking care of y'all, but if y'all just, if she's busy on the other line and you can't get her, or you've got a question, call me, and if I can't answer it, then I'll give Councilwoman Sandifer a call, and we'll make sure that you guys are knowing what's going on. And if for some reason, which is not going to happen, but if for some reason this Thursday something changes, we will let you guys know. But as far as right now at this committee, it's being sent to the council for an introduction.
That's all we ask. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much, both of y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
My name's Randy Ray. I live at 25031 Live Oak Street. And I have a question about the waiver system or the process. When the waiver was issued, was that waiver issued to be in effect forever? Does it have a time frame? Does it have a drop-by date? Does it have a single-use waiver?
So, and Councilwoman Sandifer can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my knowledge, it was an indefinite waiver to allow any mobile home to be pulled into that subdivision.
That subdivision.
For however many to be allowed. There was no time limit. There's no deadline.
Is that common practice, or is it more of a common practice to say, okay, we're going to do, case in point, during the flood, there were waivers issued for a set amount of time
Right, those are
for FEMA trailers.
Mhm.
And once that time got in, then the pressure was applied and the FEMA trailers were out. But on this one, y'all just said, they just opened it up and said, well, if nobody says anything, it's here forever.
So I've been elected since 2023. I have never seen this situation. Now it's kind of raised a little light bulb with me to now call the planning department and find out if I've got any in my district. But this is the first I've heard of it or dealt
Okay.
with it. So,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'm starting to hear about that you just did not know happened.
it's growing pains, and look, we're going to find these kind of situations, and we're just going to take them as they come and alleviate the problem and make sure you guys are taken care of, and look out for y'all's best interest for sure.
Well, I appreciate it.
As an ordinance committee, as a council, that's what we're here for.
All right. Thank you much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
That list that I just gave you is a list of all of the subdivisions parish-wide that fall on this list. So you'll be able to find, I need that list back, but you'll be able to find yours on there. And
Could we get Miss Teal, is it possible we can get a copy of this?
sure, yeah, we can make copies before you leave. So it's
It's not in this. No, okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want a copy of that.
Why would y'all do this? Like, what was what was the point? Like, what was the? Yeah.
So what was happening after the flood, there were people coming and they were going, we need hardships. And so John Wascom came up with one banning all trailers put in brick and stick designed subdivisions. Unless there was already trailers in the subdivision. Then if there were some, they would do an aerial shot and go, okay, they're wanting to put one on lot 23. And there were trailers all the way around it. So we would grant a waiver of that ordinance that John passed, and it would be forever because they wouldn't have to keep coming back and ask for waivers. They would ask for a trailer permit, and they'd check the list. Oh, there's a waiver for trailers. 'Cause most of them were trailers, mini trailers in a subdivision, not like Live Oak Acres where there were like two back in the 16, 17. But that's how it worked.
So
And it went to
essentially,
each council person in their district. They would send it. There's a trailer request. and we'd go out and take a ride, look at it, and go, well, there's trailers all the way around this. You know, why would we deny somebody else, even though we had a new ordinance? And that's what it was about.
Ironically, I'm looking at one in Watson that is called Old Live Oak Acres. That was granted a waiver back in 2019. Are my residents going to be calling me if somebody's trying to haul mobile homes in there?
I doubt it, because if you go look in there, there was probably many trailers, not just one or two.
I definitely.
But I would go
recommend
take a
looking into
ride, Ryan, and look at it before you get a call.
Yeah.
You know, and then you'll know what the
Right.
answer is.
it. That's right. That's right.
One of them's, I see mine right here.
Okay.
Seville
All right.
Estates.
If nobody has anything else to add, we're going to go ahead and adjourn. And like I said, just to give everybody the date reminder, this Thursday will be the introduction. You guys can come and speak and provide any information that you can that would help the council make a educated vote. And then the final vote will be on the 26th, which will be the public hearing. If you guys would like to come and speak then as well. I think we have cards. So before the council meeting, get a card for both meetings if you would like to speak. If you have a card, I think it's 4 minutes. If you don't, it's 2 minutes. So fill out a card and try to get that to the clerks. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and adjourn.
And just real quick, if you have time, Jeff Taylor, the assessor, is having a meeting on property tax millages that's starting now at the sheriff's training facility. So that's where we're heading. All right. You go down Woodside Lane like you're going to the landfill. Just keep going and you'll see it.
All right. Thank y'all very much.